Dude, I'm telling you, there's weird stuff out there. I've experienced it. Anybody that's gone out in the wilderness, they've experienced weird stuff too. There's weird stuff out there. Don't you forget it. Just say it. Just say it. All right? All right. I'm back. The Wild West had its stars. Jesse James, Billy the Kid, Doc Holliday, but this isn't about them. This is about the ones who slipped through the cracks. The ones too brutal, too strange, or too unlucky to make the dime novels. Their names are carved into old jailhouse walls, whispered in outlaw camps, or etched onto headstones no one visits. Some died screaming, some straight up disappeared, and some never really died at all. Not if you believe the stories. This isn't folklore, it's history. With a few shadows creeping in from the corners. Welcome to Cracked Relic. These are the forgotten gunslingers. Gotta make sure I'm hydrated. Let's start with Rufus Buck, the Teenage Reckoning. Rufus Buck wasn't just an outlaw. He was a prophecy with a shotgun. In the blistering summer of 1895, Buck, half Creek, half African, 17 years old, formed a gang of teenage boys in Indian Territory. They weren't after fame, and they weren't trying to rob banks or play Robin Hood. They wanted vengeance against white settlers, against the law, against history itself. They robbed, assaulted, and murdered across Oklahoma in a spree so brutal, even seasoned outlaws wanted nothing to do with them. And they left behind signs, strange markings in trees, feathers pinned to bodies, and once, a Bible page folded into the mouth of a deputy. The U.S. Marshals caught them fast. Fort Smith, Arkansas. Judge Isaac Parker, the hanging judge, ordered all 5 to the gallows. I mean, dang, after going on a pretty brutal rampage like that, I would assume so. And I would assume these U.S. Marshals were like, yo, we gotta get these kids, dude. Like, no way they're out there just solid murdering somebody. Especially after leaving a Bible page folded up in the mouth of a deputy. You know the Marshals took that, like, personal, you know? But here's where the story warps. Witnesses swore Rufus didn't blink as the rope dropped. He smiled, wide and unnatural. And then the sky darkened. Thunder rolled out of nowhere. 3 people died in unrelated freak accidents that same day. One witness, a preacher, reportedly went silent for the rest of his life. Folklore? Maybe. But locals still say, when the wind shifts wrong in Fort Smith, that's Buck coming back to finish what he started. Ooh. Got the chills off of that one. Now let's see if I can pronounce this one right. La Llorona of the Range. Okay, it's spelled Llorona. So I probably got that wrong. That's her nickname. Her real name, Delphina Thomas. Delphina Thomas was a bounty hunter in New Mexico territory, and by all accounts, a damn good one. But she wasn't in it for the money. She was in it for her sister, murdered in cold blood by a wanted man. Delphina tracked the killer across 4 states, surviving ambushes, snake bites, and a bullet that lodged in her shoulder and stayed there till her death. She caught him in Arizona, beat him bloody, and dragged him back to Mesilla. I don't know where that is, but it might even be pronounced Mesilla. Who knows? Legend says she didn't wait for a trial. The night she walked him into the desert and came back alone, never said a word, no questions asked. From the moment Delphina changed, quiet, distant, people swore they saw her talking to someone who wasn't there. When she walked past, animals went still. They called her La Llorona. Llorona. See, I'm going to mess this up again. I told you. La Llorona of the range. Not because she wept, but because others did when they crossed her path. And the strangest thing, she was last seen in 1903, riding toward the Black Range. Then, nothing. No grave, no bones, no goodbye. Just wind. Nat Love. Deadwood Dynamite. I swear there's a lot of stuff that comes out of Deadwood. I think it's like South Dakota. Nat Love wasn't forgotten everywhere, but too many left his name out of the legend. Born into slavery in 1854, he made himself into a cowboy, a rodeo star, and a fearless tracker. They called him Deadwood Dick, but he hated the nickname, said it made him sound like a cartoon, which honestly I actually hinted, I believe, to Deadwood Dick, aka, or well, Nat Love, aka Deadwood Dick. I believe I hinted towards Deadwood Dick, Nat Love, when I was in a previous episode, either the first one or the second one, where I hinted that Calamity Jane had also known somebody in Deadwood. This is the one that I was talking about. What people don't always know is that Nat ran with both lawmen and outlaws, rode with Bass Reeves, gambled with Cherokee Bill, once beat 3 men in a duel over a stolen horse, then took the horse and their whiskey. That's the move. That's the move right there. But here's where it gets weird. In 1883, after a stagecoach shootout in Nevada, Nat vanished for 2 years. When he returned, he didn't say a word about where he'd been. Folks noticed he'd gotten quieter, meaner, and he started having dreams. Ones he wrote about later. Dreams of fire and smoke and a woman with no face who followed him through the desert. Dude, I'm telling you, there's weird stuff out there. I've experienced it. Anybody that's gone out in the wilderness, they've experienced weird stuff too. There's weird stuff out there. Don't you forget it. Just say it. Just say it. All right. I'm back. He died in 1921. But to this day in Deadwood, South Dakota, some say a shadow rides through town once a year. Rifle on his back, saddle worn, looking for something he left behind. The Blackjack Ketchum Incident. Thomas Blackjack Ketchum wasn't the smartest outlaw, but he might have been the strangest. He robbed trains solo, wore a black duster in the summer, and claimed he could smell gold underground. But it's what happened after his capture that earned him a place in this story. In 1901, he was sentenced to hang in Clayton, New Mexico. But the town had never hanged anyone before. They guessed at the rope length. I mean, to put it lightly. When the trapdoor dropped, Blackjack's head came clean off. Witnesses fainted. One woman screamed so loud it shattered a window. That's probably a stretch. Men in town swore they saw Blackjack's shadow on the gallows at sunset. A young boy was found talking to someone invisible by the train tracks. Said his name was Tommy with no face. It's easy to say it's all ghost stories, but that noose, it's still in the Clayton Museum. And if you touch it, they say, your dreams change. No thank you. I will not touch that noose. I've already got some messed up dreams up here. Rose Dunn, the bandit girl. Rose Dunn was born into an outlaw family. The youngest of 10. Dang, what are they, Mormon? Anyway, the youngest of 10. Smart, charming, deadly. By 15, she was riding with the Wild Bunch. Not just riding, planning, cleaning up, handling the books. And she fell hard for one of them, George Bitter Creek Newcomb. They were the Western Romeo and Juliet, until the law got too close. Her brothers betrayed Bitter Creek for the bounty, shot him dead in front of her. She never spoke to them again. Rose vanished after that. Rumor says she changed her name and married a politician. Others say she became a Pinkerton informant and fed names to the law until she vanished for good. But in Pawnee, Oklahoma, there's a rumor that if you go out on a full moon and whisper her name at the old depot, you'll hear footsteps behind you, but no one ever sees her face. Chills again, dude. Chills again. I'm just saying, chills again. Ooh, like that came from the knees, you know? In the 1880s, Arizona settlers started reporting a beast, taller than a horse, red-haired, with something tied to its back. They called it the Red Ghost. People laughed until they found hoof prints 20 feet apart, until a man was trampled to death, until someone shot at it and saw a skeleton strapped to its saddle. Turns out, the U.S. Army once tried to use camels in the desert. It failed. They let the animals loose, but one kept going. With a dead rider tied to it, ropes fused to bone. Some say the ghost of that rider still clings to it. That camel, mad with pain and memory, refuses to die. The last sighting was in 1926. Last confirmed, who's to say? But every so often, out near the Gila Bend, people say they hear something strange. Hooves that don't match any horse. And a scream that doesn't sound quite human. Some legends wear tin stars. Some hold Bibles. But the forgotten ones, they wear dust and blood and names the wind barely remembers. Maybe they died. Maybe they became something else. But if you're ever alone in the desert, and the fire burns low, and the wind shifts wrong, don't look too hard in the dark, because some gunslingers don't stay buried. they wait. Thank you for being here for this episode. I greatly appreciate you. The first episode popped off. I think we're almost at 100 on that one as the time of this recording. And I appreciate you guys swinging through, watching the videos, and cracking by. So, this has been Cracked Relic. Catch you in the next episode.